Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are a couple of the amazing authors of one of our newest books. This book is Brave Kids, Short Stories to Inspire Our Future World Changers. And this is our volume 3 in a very spectacular, powerful series of short stories for kids. You guys, I'm really, really grateful to have these two authors here today. I'm going to introduce them in just a moment, but I want to give a huge shout out to our lead author, Miss Kelly Kashula. Kelly, I am so grateful that you are in my world. Once upon a time, when you came to me and said, "What about kids' books, Laura?" And I'm like, "Well, if you do it, we can do it," right? And you said, "Yes, let's do it." And I'm so grateful for that day that I met you with all of your purpose and inspiration about writing for kids. This is a spectacular, now award-winning series, you guys, and Kelly deserves all the kudos for making that happen. So who do we have in our Zoom room today? Aubrey Edwards is the CEO of Bright Beginning Children's Learning Center in Maryland, bringing over 25 years of early childhood education experience to the table. So we've got everyone hooked up down below with their websites, you guys. We hope you explore. I have Kelly Doherty with us. She's a licensed clinical social worker, author, and grief educator who helps kids and families navigate life after someone dies with honesty, empathy, and real tools that make a difference. Kelly is also one of the lead authors in my world of the book, The Grief Experience. And so we have so many incredible resources in book form because of you, Kelly. Very grateful. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I'm excited to have this conversation about this kid's book today. Kelly, you wrote a chapter called Cancer Through My Eyes, Journal Entries of Mom's Brave Journey. What's the most important thing you want people to know about this chapter?
Well, I'm really excited and proud of this chapter because I'm a grief counselor. So I talk about grief all the time and my own personal grief experience when my mom died when I was 14. But I don't always talk about what happened before her death. And so this chapter is actually based on my story of what I went through when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So my hope was that other kids that are going through a similar experience don't feel so alone.
Mm. So these are tough subjects. And of course, you've written for adults in the grief experience. Your expert author team did that so brilliantly. You're coming to the table for a kid in that same situation, which is, it's a tough situation. It is an emotional situation. Sometimes the adults around us have trouble dealing with their own emotions, let alone helping the kid with theirs. What do you want people to know about that?
Well, first of all, I want children to know that they're not alone. We know that 1 in 12 children will have a parent or a sibling die by the time they're 18 years old. So there's a lot of kids out there that are grieving. And there's a lot of kids that go through experiences like I do, where they have a parent that's diagnosed with a terminal illness and they watch their parent decline and then eventually die. And there's a lot of kids also that see their parents get better, which is amazing. And I'm so grateful for that. But I really just wanted parents to be able to have an opportunity to maybe talk to their kids, because I think what happens a lot of times with kids is parents aren't always honest and open about what's going on. I've actually heard tons of kids say they found out their parent had cancer because they've read their parents' text messages or they overheard conversations. So I'm hopeful that this chapter is going to be able to give them an opportunity to maybe talk about this, share about it, and even for kids who have grandparents that get cancer or something else, to be able to see that journaling and writing can be a tool that they could maybe use to help them on their experience of watching their parent or other family member have a terminal illness.
Yeah, very powerful tool. Journaling is such an incredible awareness and healing tool. And I could talk about journaling all day long. So thank you for saying yes and being in this project, Kelly.
I'm excited to be it. Thank you.
Aubrey, tell us a little bit about your chapter. You wrote Cruz's Superpower Within, How Embracing Your Strengths Helps You Level Up. What's the most important thing you want people to know about this chapter?
So what's extra special about this chapter is actually it's the story of my oldest son, Cruz. He struggles with dyslexia. So this chapter is all about how he embraces his strengths and overcomes his challenges, and isn't quiet about having dyslexia. And this chapter hopefully gets to other children his age to say like, hey, I'm not alone, and here's how I've overcome this challenge of reading and writing, with the strengths that I have, in other areas of his life. So this story is extra special to me, and I love that I was able to bring him in and he was able to share his story, and I was able to write it for him.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
amazing. It's making me smile. I had some collaborations with my son and for different writings and different books. And I don't know, I'm just feeling your feel about that. It is extra special when they're involved, right?
Yes, he loved it so much, and like I said, he's not quiet about his challenges, and I love that about him, and he wanted to spread this and hopefully help the next kid, adult, whomever.
So, dyslexia really sort of reframing for people, for kids, but also for adults that there's a superpower within that. What's what's that piece that you could help people with if they are having the issue, but kind of opposite end of the spectrum of thinking of it as a superpower? What do you want them to know?
So for him, he embraces all of the strengths that he does have. And that could be art, that could be dancing, that could be science. And what he loves the most is video games. So he's using that to help him through his challenges of reading and writing. And that the story kind of walks you through all of that, he's able to use his strengths in other areas to help him in his reading and writing. And it's really powerful, and I love that. I love that about his story.
I mean, that's an incredible focus that if we could help our kids with earlier than later, it would be life changing. I mean, this is big potato stuff, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
we're here talking about a kid's book, but we're here with special authors who have dedicated their lives to understanding these topics. I've said it in our other interviews. These are no ordinary authors I have with me today. These are experts in their fields, and they're coming to the table and raising their hand and saying, yeah, I want to write a kid's story, but not any kid's story. Like, we're going to help kids with these issues. And I thank both of you for doing that. It is an other level gift to have this collection of short stories, especially when you're touching on subjects like dyslexia, like grief. Holy moly, you guys, like, really, big time awesome. So, Aubrey, I want to stick with you for this next question. How do you feel about writing for kids in general? Like, what has this meant for you? Did you do it before this?
No, this is actually the first time. So I have written with you actually in other books, and Kelly actually reached out to me, and as soon as she did, I knew exactly what I wanted to write about, and I got the okay for my son, and it was like I said, I just knew exactly what I wanted to write. So there was no obstacle, there was no challenges. Like we sat down, we wrote it out in a quick turnaround. And I working in education, I've always said that I've wanted to write for children, and I'm so thankful that I got this opportunity, and hopefully that there's more to come. It was so rewarding, to be able to share his story, and to share this book to other children and young teens and possibly adults. So I was thankful for that opportunity.
Like hearing you talk about it, it's making me smile. You all did this so brilliantly. And if you haven't written for kids yet, I haven't. I've written for adults my whole career, and I haven't quite dabbled yet. It might make you nervous a little to do that, but I know that our Kelly Kishula, she's grabbing on to our children's authors' hands, and she's like
Mhm.
pulling them through the process. And it's great to hear you talk about the process. Thank you.
Yes.
So, for you, Kelly, same question. Like, how are you feeling in general about writing for kids? What has this meant for you?
Well, it's something that I've always wanted to do. I think soon as I became a social worker, I worked with children that were grieving and knew that this is what I wanted to do with my life. And I've always wanted to write a children's book. And so I did Brave Kids 1 and 2. And so I'm super excited to be part of the third one as well. And my sister said to me, I think, Kelly, you need to write a book one day about like what you went through with mom. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then Kelly reached out and I was like, okay, it's time for me to do this because, like I said before, I do so much talking about what happened after that I don't really, I haven't shared a lot about what I went through for those 2.5 years and how challenging that was. And even my sisters read it and they're like, this all happened, Kelly? And I was like,
Mm.
yep. And they're like, we had no idea because they were away in college. Like, so I was the only one at home going through that with my mom. And so to be able to share that story, it was obviously extremely emotional for me, but I'm really proud of it. And I've worked with, a camp, a local camp called Cindy's Comfort Camp. And always spring camp was always kids who have a family member with an illness, and fall was always death. So to be able to offer something like this, to be able to share with these kids, I think there's not enough out there. Right. And I'm so excited to hear Aubrey's story and to hear this because that touches my family as well, dyslexia. And so I can't wait to give that to my nephew for him to read that. Like, I just think what we're doing is just so amazing and magical. And I'm just so grateful to Kelly and I'm grateful to Brave Healer, to just get this out there and some really tough subjects, but also make it in a way that's accessible to children.
Yeah, you're giving me goosebumps, girl. Yes. Thank you for recognizing the mission here, and verbalizing it like that. Appreciate both of you and the entire co-author cast in this book and all three books, y'all. We are doing something magical and amazing, like Kelly said. Um, okay, so Kelly, I'm gonna stick with you for this next one. If you could talk to the younger you today, any age, what would your message of encouragement be?
I think what they were feeling was normal and to maybe open up more, to talk to some adults and to share her feelings more. I think I did a lot of this on my own without opening up to people, and so knowing that it's safe to talk to people and reach out for help is important.
Yes, I love that piece of advice. If only we had done that a little bit more when we were younger and reached out to parents or mentors or teachers or the people around us that we trusted, and could be a little bit different with that extra support. I love that one. Um, all right, Aubrey, same for you. Like, if you could talk to that younger you, what would your message be?
I think more so for Cruz, and the reason why I'm saying that is because of his story. And when I drop him off every morning at school, I remind him, or as I kiss him goodbye, I say, raise your hand, ask questions. If you don't understand, don't stay quiet. Advocate for yourself. So if I mean, even for myself back then, but I'm thinking for Cruz now is don't stay quiet. Ask those questions. If you need the support, don't stay quiet. Get that support. Advocate for yourself.
Yeah, nice. All right, ladies. Aubrey, tell me, give us a little bit about like how you work with people. What are you up to in the world?
So I'm the CEO of private preschools. I have been in education for over 25 years as a teacher, director, executive director, and CEO. So I work more with the site directors that oversee the preschool And then I work alongside of the teachers. So I set them up for success with trainings. And then I dip my toe in leading ladies as the operations manager. So that is coaching and working with high achieving women that are amazing to work with. And so I love all that I do, whether that's with children or women.
Yay, another super shout out to leading ladies, ambassadors, founder, Alisanne Loftus. We love you, Alisanne. She's
Yes,
another lead author in our world doing amazing things.
yes.
I love being able to shout out everybody.
Yes, of course. Yes. So I've worked with Alisanne for over 21 years. And she has given me so many great opportunities. And this is just another one of them.
Thank you, Aubrey. All right, Kelly, how about you? Just what are you up to in the world? What do you want people to know about what you're doing?
Well, I have my private practice where I specialize in working with children and adults with grief and loss. And then I also own Center for Informed Grief, where my mission is to help therapists and school personnel become grief informed. And super excited. I did a grief informed schools training with over 100 people last week. And so helping grieving kids get the support that they need at school and know that they're not alone. I went through some things in my education that was not grief informed and very unhelpful. So really passionate about getting out there and doing more trainings to really help therapists and school personnel be able to better support these grieving kids.
I appreciate you saying that out loud. There can be support that's not helpful. I'm just going to, rewind there for a minute and allow people to just take that in for a moment, because if you're feeling that way, trust that. And there's probably a different kind of support that you could get. And this is a perfect way to close today. Kelly, Aubrey, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here to share it with everyone. This is way more than a book. This is a generous community. And you heard Aubrey and Kelly talk about these deep subjects that they've dealt with in their life and now they're helping people with, right? That's a big deal to me. You guys drop down into the show notes, find them. Their links are there for you. Explore all the amazing things that they are up to. And of course, we hope you hop over to Amazon and grab your copy of Brave Kids Volume 3 today. It's an amazing gift of a book. Think of a kid that would love this book. And lastly, everyone, today, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.